The purpose of therapy is actually to make you become a person who has no problems in giving love to other people. Because when you know how to give love to other people, you also know when to stop, and you also know when to extend support, and you also know when to convince them and when to not convince them. Sometimes some people need a little bit of push, whereas some people don't, whereas some people have certain very heavy disorders and traumas. Some people have already been pampered a lot. They were very privileged in childhood, or they were taken care of in a different way, so you need to not give it to them so much. But then you are here right now because you are suffering in your twin flame experience. You think that there is a twin flame, you have a twin flame, for example, and that person is not either understanding your love, or running away from you, or just coming back and going away from you, or showing you confusion, or there is some kind of a doubt and there is some kind of a blockage, and you're not able to let go of it. You're not able to let go of the problem that both of you have right now. What you want is, you want it right away, and that is not the right way you love anyone. The twin flame journey is supposed to teach you patience, and it's supposed to teach you faith. Faith can move mountains, and faith can do miracles beyond your imagination. But for that, they cannot give it to an irresponsible person. They cannot give it to an unworthy person. They have to give it in the hands of someone who is going to use it in the best way. And that's the reason why we hear in our stories, people like demons like Ravan, they got many boons from Shiva, from Brahma. But what did they do? They misused it. They missed the knowledge that was behind the gifts. They were given the gifts for a reason. And when they started creating havoc because of the gifts, that itself brought their doom. So you are here on this planet. If you are a twin flame, if you are a starseed, if you are a light worker, if you are an ascensioner, then you need to understand that you are here to learn about love so that you can practice unconditional love everywhere, not just with your twin flame. You think that you're only supposed to practice this with your twin flame, which is the opposite of what you're thinking. The reality is the opposite of what you're thinking. Other than your twin flame, you're supposed to practice it everywhere else. Because the twin flame journey is an automatic journey. It's based on what you are within. It's a hologram of who you are within. You're going through pain and suffering. You're not able to make peace with it, with your love life, with your romantic life. It means you need to stop putting in so much over there. You need to give, but you need to give elsewhere then. You need to give to someone who needs it. So, a big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. And as you can see in the title, I'm going to be talking about one love. And love is a one-way traffic. Love is a one-way traffic. That's why it becomes one love. One love can give you peace, can give you joy, can give you happiness, and can teach you how to live your life for real on planet Earth. Because you are a human being here. You are having a human experience right now on planet Earth. And you are here to learn unconditional love. And once you learn unconditional love, automatically you will be vibrating very high. Which is why you're here. Which is why you're working on yourself. Right? Because you want to be a natural expression of the universe. So yes, let's get started and let's get into this session now. Love is a one-way traffic where you only give. Now what is happening with the twin flame community is because they are raised in specific templates which have narcissism in it, or it has abuse in it, or in general it has a lot of flaws in it. There are generational curses, there are ancestral curses. The upbringing is not suitable for the seeker. However, this is also being done for a reason. So all the twin flames on this planet, as I have mentioned in previous videos, and I would encourage you guys to listen to the information videos also, because this content is going to help you further in your twin flame journey. It is very good to listen to channelings, and it is amazing to listen to love letters because they have so much positive energy in it. But at the same time, you're not understanding that this divine masculine and feminine dance that's happening, the dynamic that's happening, it is basically mirroring that they do with each other. And not specifically, I'm talking about masculine to feminine or feminine to masculine. I am talking about this mirroring happens with the person, or they can figure it out better if they are doing inner work. If you're not doing any inner work, you're not doing any healing work, you're not doing any therapy on yourself, you're not doing anything, and I'm talking about efforts to be made only for this, for the spiritual ascension. If you just try to connect with source, the only desire you have is to connect with source, you surrender to source, you love source, then everything else will be taken care of. And when we are in mission also, we go through these phases. Sometimes you get very attached with your mission only. So then you have to remember, okay, you're not the doer, source is the doer, and you're not supposed to get basically into that emotion that I am doing this. Because when you do something, you take the ownership for it, you take the credit for it, or you take control of it, then you get tired. You get tired and everything becomes very difficult. Okay, so then from that perspective, all the things that you go through, negative, positive, all of them are basically happening to help you out to ascend further. I have noticed this thing in some people that I work with. Obviously, I'm talking about a whole observation, not just one person or two people or three, like a couple of people or the majority, or how you check the statistics. When everything is hunky-dory, when everything is fine, it's okay. But the moment the ascension symptoms appear, the difficult ascension symptoms appear, the rigid or the hardcore symptoms, when they come up on the surface, that's the time people want to run away, and then they say, oh, I don't want to do this inner work, oh, this is that, it's so difficult, it's not easy, I don't like it, it's painful, blah blah blah. And same thing happens in love. As long as love is enjoyable, as long as the dates are happening, as long as there is, you're communicating with your eyes, and there is chemistry, and there is pleasure seeking is there. Because see, if there is pleasure, there will be pain. You are doing the same thing in the ascension journey also, and you're doing the same thing in the relationships, and you're doing the same thing otherwise also. When you're seeking pleasure in anything, it will result in pain. Okay? So when everything is enjoyable, you're listening to the channelings, wow, so nice, these words, I'm going to apply it. Or something else, you do some ritual, or you hang out with some people who are like-minded, everything is good. But when you start seeing certain changes in you, or you start facing some kind of a war situation within you, because see, it is the application of the methodology that is trying to tell you to let go, to surrender. Who are you surrendering to, and why are you surrendering? That is the thing that you need to understand. Because when we look around at people who are in love, okay? They are in love because they are also getting something in return from the other person. And the programming that you go through, the rigid programming that you go through, be it through media, be it through parenting, be it through schooling, college, job, whatever, relatives, friends, everybody is trying to tell you one thing, that what is that other person doing for you? What are you getting in return? Be it a marriage, be it a friendship, be it a business deal, we always look for something in return. Like if I am getting something, only then I'll give it to this person, no? So if you are giving from that point of view, from that perspective, then obviously it will eventually put you in a lot of pain. Because you will then start expecting that I am giving this person something and he is not giving me anything in return. He or she, whosoever is there in front of you. It doesn't matter if you're a homosexual, it doesn't matter if you're a heterosexual. The idea of love is teaching you to ask for something. Okay? But we also talk about giving and receiving has to be in balance, right? So if you're doing a genuine twin flame journey, an ascension journey, then you need to be very careful of where you're giving, what you're giving, how are you giving, and then are you receiving something? What are you receiving in return? What is it that is triggering you while giving and receiving? What is it that is stopping you? And what is it that is creating a havoc in you that you want so much attention from other people? So this whole runner chaser dynamic, when it goes bad, when it goes completely like it's not working out at all, runner chaser dynamic also works out for some time. Okay. So what is a runner chaser dynamic? It's like one day the person is very nice to you and the other day the person is not nice to you. Now this one day can turn into 1 week, 1 month, few months, sometimes few years. Okay. Both the runner and chaser are getting a lesson from the universe. And because they don't listen to the universe is trying to tell them, drop it off. Drop off your game. Drop off your ego. And drop off your pleasing attitude, that over pleasing attitude, that attitude where you're supposed to always go through something, you know. So pain and pleasure are actually the same thing. They are the two sides of the same coin, just like good and bad. You think that the pleasure that you're getting from something is not going to give you pain. That is your biggest mistake. If there is pleasure, the same pleasure will give you pain. And that's why in the spiritual ascension journey, we always teach people to get out of the trap of pleasure and pain. As long as the therapy is very nice, you know, as long as we are having a conversation, the therapist and me are chit-chatting, talking, you know, discussing life. 1 hour has gone by, 2 hours have gone by, 3 hours have gone by. Lovely, beautiful. You know, what a great way of working with each other. But then the therapist says, hey, you want to go back home and you have to do some assignments, or you have to read this, or you have to read that, or you have to find time for yourself to exercise. You have to stop eating junk food because that puts your energy in low frequency. Or you have to do mission work. Because see, everybody is in different state, okay? When we work with people, we understand. That's why when we give initial assignments, that is to basically check what is going to trigger you. What will trigger you? How will you react? What will you tell? And we determine which stage you're in terms of your inner work. Okay. And then based on that, we give you further more assignments. And then we see there are some people who are going to surrender easily and they're going to work and they're going to do this and do that. And there are some people who will create a havoc. And it's not like they're troubling the therapist or something, but yeah, they in some way they will. But actually they start getting troubled themselves. Some people who have left pills and medication, they want to go back to that because, you know, they have been battling out this for many years. They have other addictions, alcohol addictions is there, or sex addiction is there, or some other addiction is also there. So we think that addictions are a way of protecting ourselves sometimes, but actually they are not. We are addicted for love as well. Some people think that how can you be addicted to love and food? I was recently having a conversation with someone and I said to that person that food is actually the biggest addiction. Biggest addiction is taste. Most of the things that we do and we eat and we consume is because of the addiction we have towards it. Sometimes you're not even hungry. Sometimes you don't even want to eat, but you look at something very delicious, or you know it's your favorite food, or sometimes you're like working on something intensely and then you are presented with something which gives you addiction as well. You will immediately jump towards it because it has a connection with pleasure seeking and it is trying to tell you that this will make you happy. It will bring you out of your addiction. So addiction can be anything. Even being demanding is an addiction for some people. Even putting your weight around is kind of an addiction. Even gaining sympathy is an addiction. So when you do this whole runner-chaser dynamic, some people, they do runner-chaser dynamic with their twin flame or with their whosoever they think in their head, you know. And some people start doing runner-chaser dynamic even with the inner work. Even with the therapist, they will run away from the therapist, or they will start crying in front of the therapist, or they will be like very miserable and very deplorable state they will come into, because that is what they are used to do when they want to get attention from the people who have raised them, from the people who they've lived with them, and in general in your environment also. Okay, now some of the people are very brilliant, I must say. Some of the people are intelligent, they are brilliant, they have a kind heart, they want to help other people. But every time they try to go out and help other people or do something nice, it never works out. It never works out for them. Either the person they want to help, they will start refusing the help, or something magical will happen. The universe will sort out their life in such a way they will no longer need the help. So wherever these people will go, the ones who have a good heart, if they try to help someone, either the help will, create some other problem, some other issue, or the person who is in position of taking help will not want to take help. Okay. So then that way also you need to understand that you need to back off a little bit. Okay. But why do you have to back off? Okay, you will back off for 6 months, 7 months, 2 months, 3 months, but again you'll feel like doing it. So what is it that you're backing off from? You are actually backing off from the illusion that has been created on this planet regarding love. Okay, you need to go away from that false perception of love, where you have been told that love means to give and get. So you need to get, and it also has to be an enjoyable experience when you are getting something. If it is difficult, if it is making you, like work hard, or it is taking you beyond your usual personality, then it is not good for you. So you start backing off. The same thing runner is doing with you. Okay, the runner is running away from you because not only you are giving them love, right, but at the same time you're forcing them to look within. You're forcing them to check their ways. You're forcing them, in a way, unknowingly or knowingly, you represent, you create some kind of an idea in front of them that whatever they are doing in their life is not good, or it's not the right thing to do. It's not the most natural self of them. So they don't want to be around you. They get scared. They don't like the intensity. But the same thing the chaser is also doing when it comes to seeking love and working on themselves. When it's easy, they want to work on themselves. When it's not easy, they don't want to work on themselves. They run away from the inner work. They run away from whatever tells them to improve. And they, sometimes they want to do it very nicely. Sometimes they want to do it in an angry way. Sometimes they want to do it in a cranky way. Sometimes they want to cry out loud, but they will still do it. So I'm going to tell you a very nice story that my master had shared. And this story is about a little kid. Okay, the little kid is getting a bath from the mother. He went out, he or she, it can be any gender, went out, played in the mud, got very dirty. All the clothes are dirty. The child is completely muddy from top to bottom. There is mud in his hair, there's grass on his body. Now the mother is like, I need to clean you up, otherwise you'll be like full of germs or whatever, you might just fall sick. So let me give you a bath. What the mother is doing for the child is good for the child. Okay, she's giving the child a bath and she's making the child clean, putting on clean clothes, giving some food for the child because he just went out, came back after 2 hours, 3 hours, not keeping a track of time. He needs to get some nourishment, he or she. Mother is doing her work, but the child starts crying because the child does not enjoy the bath. The child does not want to, be clean. Child wants to go and play more, which is not healthy for the child. Playing is also good. Getting into the mud, rolling into the mud is also good. But not for all the time, not for the whole day. You can't be like that for the whole day, right? Everything is good in moderation. Nothing is good in extreme. So now the child is crying and he's going like crazy, creating a havoc inside the bathroom. Leave me. No, mother, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. Please don't, please don't. The grandmother sitting outside also starts saying, hey, what's happening? Why is my grandson or my granddaughter crying? Because grandparents are more close to the kids, right? Why is he or she crying? What have you done? The mother says, I'm just giving him a bath. You also relax, please. So even though we can see that the mother is doing something good for the child, but the child is cranky, the child is crying, the child is creating a havoc, and for no reason. Once the mother finishes the bath and dries the child with a clean towel, puts on good clothes, gives him something to eat, child is fine again. Ask the child at that time, why were you crying so much? The child will tell you, because I was scared. I was scared of getting cleaned up. I was scared of the bath. I was scared of the water. Maybe the water could hurt me. The water would not have hurt me. The bath would not have hurt the child. I mean, the child should think like that. But still, the child wants to think the opposite. Same thing is happening in the runner-chaser dynamic. Runner-chaser dynamic is simply trying to tell the chaser that you are also running away from the true meaning of love. You don't want to fix yourself. You're running away, so you see someone else or something else also running away from you. As long as you'll keep running away, all the things that you're chasing will also keep running away from you, because this is how it is ultimately. Coming back to love is about giving. But you can't give anything to anyone if you don't have it in you. Be it forgiveness, be it patience, be it understanding, and be it discipline. If you are not disciplined, then you cannot tell other people to be disciplined, right? Or you cannot put them in that regime because you are not disciplined. So you need to be disciplined. You need to work on yourself equally as much as you are expecting the other person to do it. Even in the twin flame dynamic, constantly I see this. Even in star seeds with light workers, especially those who have a partnership going on, especially who are in a relationship or even in a runner-chaser dynamic, they are saying that I cannot do mission work because my partner ran away. I cannot do this, I cannot do that because that other person ran away. Now I'm all by myself. So you need to give yourself love even more at this point in time. Love to you and to your mission and to your dream, and most importantly to your source integration, the planning, the work that you're doing to integrate with source. It is not going to be easy. People who are looking for easy stuff, people who are looking for pampering, sorry, you will not ascend at all. You will go further down because you're looking for something easy. Easy peasy. Easy peasy won't work. Some of you will think how to give love to someone who doesn't want to accept it. If someone is not accepting love, then you have to understand you are overdoing it. You are giving food to a person whose stomach is full. Because there are different scenarios, right? So in this particular session, I'm going to talk about and I'm going to clarify this doubt of a lot of people that you have to give love outside of you. Even that is not correct. That you have to give it outside to someone, to an individual. You actually give love to yourself only. But you give love to yourself, not just to your identity. The more love you give to yourself, the more you go within, the more you observe yourself objectively, the more you realize that all of your dramatics, all of your anger and crankiness and crying and weeping is basically happening because you don't want to surrender. You don't want to surrender, you don't want to let go of the control, you don't want to let go of your ego. Even if you're a nice person, some people think that nice people, good people, kind-hearted people don't have an ego. They do. And the reason they do it because they are raised by adults who had ego or who had narcissism or who had gone through abuse. When I'm working with people who have maternal narcissism, and while working, it is so interesting. Some people have told me that I am seeing a huge change in my mother. And my mother has started telling me about, or my father has started telling me or talking to me about the problems they had gone through in their childhood. Maybe they got raped, or maybe they got beaten up very badly, or maybe their father raped them, or their uncle or somebody treated them very horribly. So they start opening up about that, and they have not opened up about their life to you or to that person who's working, who's in therapy for so many years. So many years they never spoke. But why now? Why now? Now they are speaking because you have changed your methodology. Instead of trying to fix them, you started trying to fix yourself. Instead of trying to going, like at them or getting angry with them, getting frustrated with them. Oh, they don't understand this. You say, okay, forget about it. I'll give it time. Even if they say mean things to me, even if they say hurtful things to me, even if they are not nice to me, okay, fine. Let it be. What can you do? What can you do really? Tell me. What can you do? You have to understand that they are suffering. If they were not suffering, they will not spread it around like this. So if your runner is running away from you, you need to let them run away. You need to give them space. You need to give them time to breathe. And you need to let them do other things so that they will have their own experiences, and they will learn from their experiences that whatever they are going through or whatever they are doing is not right. And for that you need to give it time. Some people don't like to give time. They want things to change right now, right away. If today you're feeling horrible, if you today feeling very difficult, there are difficult energies, you're in pain, and this is why I think women can actually understand this better, that when we go through our menstrual cycles, there are times when we are in huge pain. Sometimes you don't even know, you eat something heavy duty and you're in pain. So when you are in pain, what happens at that time? Does the pain go away immediately? No. You have to go through the pain. You have to literally go through that pain, all the cramps that you get, the muscle, the stomach cramps you get, you have to go through it. And the uncomfortable feeling sometimes, you go through when you're out somewhere and you have to be out, you can't rest, or something has happened. You take a painkiller, you somehow manage. The pain will still be there. It will be there, but little bit, it will be less. Painkillers doesn't mean it will take away all the pain, but it will put you in sort of a zone, or it will give you some kind of a, it will numb your pain down, or it will numb you down. The pain will still be there, but it will numb you down. So you cannot relate with the pain so much. That's how they work. But every month or every time, people still go through PMS. I mean, I think that next month I might not go through PMS, but I always do, and we all do. So the idea is not to fight with the pain or not to run away with the pain. The idea is to sit down, relax, and watch the pain. Observe the pain. So much that you're doing, so much that you're doing, it will not help your case. It will even make it worse. Because you don't know how to stay still. You don't know how to calm yourself down. You are basically thinking that this pain that I'm going through is permanent. Pain is not permanent. Just the way pleasure is not permanent, pain will also not be permanent. It will go sooner or later, it will go, and it will go faster if you don't fight so much. If you don't run away so much, it will go away faster. If you run away from it, it will come to you, it will haunt you in some way or the other, in some form, shape, size or form, it will haunt you again. And that's why we say, let the runner go. Don't chase. Because the runner will have his or her own experience. And they know that the experience they were having with the chaser, the so-called chaser, was actually not a bad experience. It was a more realistic experience. It was more heartfelt experience. But I was running away from it because I was scared, because I was programmed to believe that this is not correct. There's something wrong with it. It is too good to be true. It is too good to be true, so something is wrong and I need to run away. Or what am I feeling? The feeling may not be so bad after all. The feeling that you're going through, the feeling that you're labeling as pain, as torture, as torment, is actually not that bad. But you're not stopping, you're not pausing, you're not observing it objectively. You're labeling it constantly. This, that, headache, stomachache, this disease, that disease, anxiety, depression, sadness. Sit through the sadness. Breathe into the sadness. Relax yourself in the sadness. And stop whatever you're doing if you're so sad. Or just surrender. If someone is telling you that, you know what, just relax, calm down, and you're not calming down, you will not be relaxed. And again, I will remind you of a nurturing mother who's cleaning up the boy or the girl who played in the mud for 3 hours, 4 hours. She wants the child to take a bath, wear nice clean clothes, and eat some food, get a meal. But the child does not understand that this discomfort that I am going through, the whole cleanliness, the cleaning up process, the child starts seeing it as a painful process. But if only the child will calm down and relax, the child will start enjoying the bath. The child can play with the bubbles. The child can play with the water. The child can jump and dance. Healing can be a very enjoyable process only if you surrender. Similarly, giving love to other people can be a very enjoyable process. If you stop letting the rigid programming and the messages that float around related to love affect you. Say you love someone. Another example, somebody was telling me that I love a person. So I went ahead and I asked that person, do you love me? And that person says, no, I don't love you. I don't like you as a girlfriend or a wife or a romantic partner. But I like you. I like your company. I like hanging out with you. Okay. You ask that person once. You go again. You ask that person second time. Third time. And this happens a lot in friends with benefit situation. Or it happens a lot where you're trying to get married to a person. You're dating that person for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. But every time you bring up the topic of marriage, there is a problem. Why you bring up the topic of marriage or why you want to ask a person whether they love you or not is because you seek commitment and you seek validation. But why do you seek commitment and validation? Because it makes you feel secure from within. And why you want that feeling of security? Because actually you're insecure from within. Because you're insecure and because you're full of fear, you want someone to tell you. But let me tell you, even if they would have told you the same thing in some other way, maybe through their actions, you would not have noticed it at all. Because all you want is someone to say it, someone to seal it. So then someone told me that, my intuition is telling me that this person loves me. But when I face that person, when I verbally ask that person, do you love me or not? They say no. But my intuition is telling me. So what should I do? First of all, you need to be a person with common sense. You need to be a person who's practical also. If you talk to somebody and on their face they tell you that I don't agree with you, why do you have to keep on having the same conversation with that person? Or why do you have to force your opinion to that person? Or why do you have to seek validation from that person? Let them be. On your face they are telling you, I don't agree with you or I don't feel this way. So let them be. And if you have a very strong intuition, then just smile and believe the intuition. The only problem in believing the intuition is that it takes time. And it only takes time when you are learning about intuition. Most of the people, they have intuition, but they don't know how to use the intuition. They don't know how intuition works. So when they get an intuition, they want it to happen right there and then. The intuition is telling me that this person will be my husband or my wife. But the intuition may not come true right away. Intuition takes time. It takes work. another example I'll give you, and this is a real life example once again. So I have two sisters, basically two cousin sisters, and in 2018 I was just hanging out with them. Back in those days I was meeting a lot of people, and I remember giving therapy to one of the cancer patients also. But I was traveling a lot, I was studying a lot, and I was doing very deep meditation. I mean, that's what probably universe wanted me to do at that time. But the intuition was very strong, and I was working on how to, believe more and more in the intuition and less in what the illusion, the earth's Maya is trying to tell you. The programming is also showing you a picture, and your intuition is also showing you a picture. So then what happened was that I was just sitting with my sisters, two of my cousins, and we were sitting on top of a well, a covered well. So you have a well which is open, and there's a covered well. So you can just literally chill on the well. There's a hand pump and this and that. So you're just chilling around that well, and it was a beautiful day. And I was just looking at the both of them, and they had not asked me any question, and neither was I thinking anything, to be very honest. And suddenly a voice inside of me, or some feeling, some strong emotion told me to just blurt something out. So I looked at them, and they're sisters, okay? So one is the elder sister and one is the younger sister. I looked at the younger one and I said to her that you will marry a man who will be very rich. And I don't know why that rich factor came first, And I said, even though he will be very rich, but he will be extremely loving towards you, and he will treat you very well. I had this really strong gush of emotions that they are actually quite hardworking and very responsible girls, and they have, like the programming is different than obviously mine, but there is some similarity. I don't know, it was destiny or I don't know what, but I could sense it so strongly. And this is 2018. Okay. So I told them that, look, the younger one, you will get married to a very nice guy, a very loving guy, and you'll get so much. That people will look at you and they will be like, wow, she is so lucky. But your elder sister will get more than you. Even though at that point in time it was looking like that would not happen, it was impossible, but I said the elder one will always be above you. Now, this is a prediction that I made, very strong prediction I made at that time, and both of them silently, like, they heard me out. They did not retaliate or they did not laugh. Of course, I'm close to them, so they just looked at me, and I said, I have no idea why I'm saying this, but she will be above you. She will be above you in the relationship. Wherever you get married, whosoever you get married to, whichever guy you get married to, he will be nice, he will be loving, he will be wealthy, blah blah blah, but your sister will be above you in the relationship. So even I did not understand what the hell was I talking about. Like, what does it even mean, being above in the relationship, blah blah blah. Was it trying to warn me about the future? I did sense a warning also at that time, but I did not know what it was, so I let it go. So this is my intuition, and that was a prediction. I think in 2020, I got a call from my cousin, the one out of them, and she told me that she's getting married, and I was very happy. And she told me about the guy, and she said he's a very nice guy, and he was just like how I had predicted. But we did not talk about that prediction that day, because even I did not care about it. We did not go back into that old conversation. It was a clear vision I saw based on which I said it. So then 1 year later, again I got a call saying that now the elder sister is getting married too. And they're all very young in age, they are still in their early 20s. So for me, it was like, what the hell are you doing? You're getting married so early. But I was like, okay, it's everybody's destiny is different, Somebody is supposed to marry late, somebody is supposed to marry early, somebody is not supposed to marry, and somebody is supposed to marry multiple times, and it's just like different people go through different things. So no big deal. I was happy for them. I could not attend the wedding, but I was very happy. But the surprising factor was they called me up when the elder one got married, because she got married to the uncle of the same guy. And see, this is coming from my own family, so I'm sharing such a big thing with you all, with my community. I'm not even hiding anything. This is something which is crazy even for me to imagine. So basically, she became her elder. Earlier, she was her elder sister, but after the marriage, and it was not a love marriage, they had not planned it. She got married first, and the elder sister used to visit, like all of the other sisters, all of the relatives used to visit their household. And one fine day, the elders just decided amongst themselves that, the elder sister is a nice girl and she would be a good bride for one of the uncles. And he is obviously younger in age. So we have a lot of children in our family. We have a very huge family. So friends, why am I sharing this to you is because then both of them called me up. We had a talk and they told me that your prediction came true. 3 years back, you were sitting on the well and you made this prediction that she will be elder to you in the relationship. And now, after the marriage of that elder sister, she is become elder within the same household. And it wasn't planned, it wasn't discussed, it wasn't something that they even thought would happen. Because usually we don't see sisters getting married in the same household, right? So they called me and I spoke to them, and even I was quite mind-boggled by this fascinating thing. So guys and girls, why am I sharing this with you is to tell you that the time the intuition take or the prediction took to fulfill into manifestation, into a physical manifestation was long. It didn't happen immediately after 6 months or 4 months or 2 months. It took time, 3 years to happen. And in those 3 years, we had totally forgotten about it. We didn't even remember that we had this conversation. We only went back into that situation when it happened. And similarly, many such predictions have come true, which I made few years back or some time back. And then later on, those people contacted me and they said that, well, it has happened, what you had talked about. Somebody, once again, a family had visited me and I was doing tarot cards for them. They were going through a difficult procedure. They wanted to give birth to a child, but it was taking too many years had gone by trying to, do it. So they met me and they thought that it will not happen. And I don't know why the intuition told me that they will definitely have a child very soon and it will be a girl child. So guys and girls, I'm not sharing this to you to tell you guys that, all these intuitions are coming true, wow. And then there is a gift of intuition that I have, so I'm so superior. No. All of you have the gift of intuition. All of you. All the people who are on the twin flame journey, all the people who are in ascension journey, you all have this gift. It's just that you are going to work on it to make it work for you. You need to give it time. And you need to give it inner work and you need to give it faith and believe. And sometimes, in many cases, you also need to let it go. Because 9 months later or a year later, when they actually had a girl child, after 13 years of not being able to reproduce, they were very surprised and they were happy. And it gave me also something to look forward to, because I also used to doubt my intuition a lot. I also used to be like, no, this can't be true, whatever I'm thinking. Let it be. But it, so many things have worked out like that, So for the twin flames, it happens they are going through a war within themselves where their intuition is telling them something else, but the physical reality is not matching up to it. So that's why you need to give love to yourself. That's why you need to be in that, zone where love is a one-way traffic. You're not expecting anything. You're not demanding anything. You're not saying this should happen right away, right now. I want it like this. I want it like this. I want it like this. And I want it right now. If you're not getting it right now, then let it be. Why are you creating so much drama around it? You're not getting it. Leave it alone. Do something else. Why you have to do only that? If somebody doesn't want your call, don't call. Somebody doesn't want your message, don't message. If somebody is not replying to you, don't keep messaging them. Don't keep following them or chasing them and stalking them or whatever. Just leave them alone. Okay? So on this note, I will close this channeling session. Thank you so much for being here with me. For your personal situation, you can write to me at the sunamoon@gmail.com and you can book a therapy or a personal session. And we will talk about your twin flame journey then. I'll see you soon in another one. One love and peace out. Mwah.